There's not much to distinguish the exterior of Mortlach Distillery from any of the other ones dotted around Speyside. Step inside though and you'll find a distillation process which is unlike anywhere else in Scotland. Unfiltered's guide for the day is Senior Site Manager Runa Molvik, who explains what makes Mortlach so distinctive. That starts with a tour of the still room, home to an eccentric collection of 6 entirely different stills and a mysterious distillation process that runs into the decimal points somewhere between 2 and 3 times.
Well, if you go to a kind of a traditional malt distillery, you've got the double distillation. Come to Mortlach and it's a bit different, absolutely. So you have a unique setup of stills in terms of none of them are the same. So we do about 2.81 distilled, but really what we focus on is the flavours, you know, the flavour of the whiskey. So we're talking about Mortlach being the beast of Dufftown, and the flavours you get is probably the closest you can get to an Islay whiskey, but still on the Speyside. So you've got the bold, rich, kind of meaty flavour from the sulphury new make, but also you've got the fruity, and also you've got kind of a malty flavour as well. So if you look at it, actually how the stills are set up, you almost got 3 distilleries in one. And that's kind of what makes Mortlach that kind of beautifully rich liquid.
Another curious feature of Mortlach is in its continuing use of worm tub condensers. They may not be as efficient as more modern shell and tube condensers, but they're critical in defining the whisky's robust character. It's another example of a curious distillery, more or less unchanged in more than 100 years of operations.
If you think about the George Cowie, he was an engineer, so he built the kind of hardware and set up the stills. Then he has his son Alexander, who'd been out in the Far East there and coming back as a doctor, more kind of a medical profession, and really trying to experiment with flavours and trying to use what his dad George had kind of built up here, and experiment to get those really strong, heavy kind of characteristics that Mortlach is. And that's been pretty much the same since 1896. And it's the way we distill it now. It's the way Alexander set it up in 1896. And we call it Alexander's way. And it's, although we are more modern at the moment, we're still doing it the same way. So yeah, it's pretty unique and pretty special.